Hoje eu vou lavar a louça. Se vocês quiserem mais vídeo lavando a louça, deixa o dislike, deixa o dislike, não deixa comentário, se desinscreva e não ativa o sino pra nenhum vídeo mais e denuncia também o canal.
Smoke weed every day.
form in a literal sense. Don't you know that a power that big comes with a bigger expense? And can't you see that she's out of control and overzealous? I'm telling you for your own good and not because I could show you how to be strong in the real way. And I know that we can be strong in the real way. And I want to inspire you, I want to be your rock. And when I talk, it lights a fire in you.
Mano, que porra é essa, velho? Anyways.